All right, everybody, are you ready for some more Evolve? We are hyped, and we are finally back. We are ready to go. We are in the lobby right now. The teams are just finishing up their picks and bans right now. Hopefully, we don't have much longer. This time around, we will be casting the other side of the bracket. Let's talk about those teams right now, IG.
Absolutely. We're going to be casting HOY versus Team Epex Black. Now, Epex Black actually took the surprise win today off Team Vidir. Vidir being the team that's taken third place in 3 of the last 4 previous weekly Go4Evolve Sunday matches. So, Epex kind of taking a controversial strategy that looks like it's going to be patched out here pretty soon and taking it into a win, something that I really didn't think I'd see in higher level play. They don't dodged essentially
in the tiebreaker, no less, of all games.
Yeah, geez. I mean, that's really not something that I thought I was going to see today. Interesting. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull the same thing off against Insane, though.
Yes, they will be playing Insane 5-1, the absolutely insane monster, and arguably the best all-around, well-rounded monster player in the scene right now. He is playing for HOY, that's Team Hard On You. This, I think, is the hype match of the semifinals right now.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm really excited that we end up getting to play this one. Jeez.
Yeah, I feel like we lucked out a little bit getting to cast this match out of all of them.
Same here, same here. I've been excited to cast some Insane all day, especially since we've had him on here talking to us before. It'll be great. Do we know what their picks and bans were?
I do not think I have any mention just yet. Okay, let's see. Nope. Nothing mentioned just yet. It looks like they are looking for a rules clarification, actually, which is pretty interesting.
You know, I heard that there's been quite a bit of controversy in the back scenes over that dome dodge, and to see if that was kosher. Though I have to say I've read over the ESL rules just to make sure that I am very clear on what's going down, and they don't have a single thing against it. If it's a mechanic in the game, they're allowed to use it. If they have just some kind of gentleman's agreement,
Yeah. Yeah, that's always been my understanding as well. It's not technically a direct exploit. It's not a bug. It's just something that needs to be balanced and changed in the game that, has not been patched out yet. That's all it is.
Now, MacMan has confirmed on the forums that essentially what they're going to do is put in a mechanic where if the trapper is not inside the dome falls after 10 seconds.
Well, that's good. That's good. I like that. That's a change I'm in favor of.
I agree with you there. I don't see any reason that the dome should stay up if the trapper's not inside of it. The trapper is key for the dome.
And you know what? 10 seconds is perfect. It allows a little bit of leeway for skillful play in pulling off a dome dodge. While it's not super, super hard to do, especially with Sunny, there is still some positioning that's required. You do need to be on a high ground, and you need to have full jetpack. You have to manage that well, and it does take a little bit of timing. So giving yourself a 10-second advantage for throwing that out and wasting a dome, I think that's a pretty good change. I would be happy with that. Yeah, I think I would be happy with that. And now, do we have an ETA? I'm sorry, did you give an ETA on that patch, or you just said that?
No. That's just something that MacMan has mentioned is coming in one of the patches that are coming up. Now, as long as we're here and as long as we've got time, we might as well talk about this. Apparently, Turtle Rock is going to be moving more towards a micro patch system, where they're going to be throwing in a micro patch every week just to kind of play with a few of things and kind of play with the numbers inside the system. And they've set up a mechanic that essentially allows them to patch that on the fly. So the longest part of their patch process now is going to be mostly play testing. They've mentioned before that their method of development is to put something in and then just play test the crap out of it and make sure that every piece of it works before they put it in. So essentially, I think that's mostly what we're waiting for. Though I do assume that something like a dome dodge is going to have to be like, they're going to have to write out new code and put it in there. That's not something they can just adjust, I don't think. So who knows?
Yeah, I doubt that they have detection already in place to see who is inside of a dome and who is not. So you're right, that could take a little longer than we hope for. Maybe ESL makes a rule, like kind of a gentleman's agreement sort of thing, a forced gentleman's agreement that teams cannot do it. I don't know. I know a lot of teams don't like it.
I'll put it this way: the first time I ever saw a dome dodge, it was no fault of the trapper. It was actually a trapper closing in on a Kraken who was using his jetpack. The Kraken hit it with a vortex before
Yeah.
vortex got nerfed, and it blew him completely out of the dome before the dome fell.
Yeah, I've seen that
So
happen before, too.
it'd be a very interesting thing if ESL tried to make rules about that, if it's something that a monster player can force a hunter to do, because I know that a Goliath can do the exact same thing with a rock throw if he hits
Yep.
it just right.
Yep. Yeah, and in those situations, I'm not sure how many players, especially with a rock throw, could pull that off intentionally. It would almost be like an accidental thing, and you really
Yeah,
can't control things like that.
Absolutely, and it'd be really difficult to make a rule against something that a monster player can accidentally cause the hunters to do. If you try and penalize them for doing so, it'd be kind of weird. Which is why I like that they're actually fixing a mechanic inside of the game, and I like how receptive and open Turtle Rock has been about making testing at least changes that are suggested by the competitive community to try and make the competitive game better. I just wish that somebody would come up with a rule set that everybody could be happy with.
Yeah, yeah, and those things do take time. The scene is still very, very young. They're still kind of feeling everything out right now, trying to figure out, what the best rules to go with are, what perks, should stay in the game. There's a lot of talk in the competitive scene about getting rid of DI and DR. That's damage increase and damage reduction, because they add no skillful gameplay.
That's right. I mean, I think that we talked about that the first week that we ended up casting together, Aegis. It's really something it's a lot of concern, because all it does is just adjust a couple of numbers inside there. It doesn't add anything at all. It doesn't add any kind of skill whatsoever. It's just, it's very interesting. Like every other mechanic, you can clearly see how it could be used in order to propagate a tactic, but that one, all it is just straight up either more health or more damage in a fight. And I'd like to see it go away as well. I'm definitely in that camp.
Yeah. And of course, we would all like to see perks added back into the game as well. But, right now, they are simply too strong to be added into the game. They need to be, I'm sorry, not perks, wildlife buff, the elite wildlife buffs. We'd like to see those added to the game, but they are too strong. They need to be toned down before they can be brought into gameplay.
Not only are they too strong, but I've heard a lot of competitive players that have raised the issue to where essentially like hunter players can't really deny a monster a buff without sitting on it for 2 minutes and allowing the monster to go do whatever else he wants and go get whatever other buff he wants. Whereas all a monster has to do is just quickly snack on the corpse and destroy it, and then the hunters can't get it anymore. And so until they find a way to be able to balance that out as well, it's going to be interesting to see how they make this work. But I agree with you. I mean, part of what makes this a MOBA is that there's areas to fight over, and it causes action to happen in different ways. I think that we're going to watch the scene evolve a lot once that gets added back in, because it's going to force the hunter player, or it's going to force the monster player to need to engage more.
Yeah, that objective-based gameplay. It's very, very key to the I would say, like, the ultimate dynamic of the game, where we want the game to be. It's so key, and it worked very, very well initially before teams started to realize how good those buffs actually are right now. Now that teams have realized it, it's become a little bit too good. So they just need to be toned down to bring that objective gameplay back into the game while still not creating these unwinnable scenarios.
Absolutely. I mean, because right now, essentially, a monster can go out and get a 35% damage buff before the hunters drop, and can come and finish them at the dropship as they're dropping down.
We've already seen how strong Kraken is without that buff. Imagine Kraken with a 35% damage increase, which now actually does stack with the perk, the damage increase perk.
It does, which means that they're essentially coming into the fight with 50% extra damage at stage 1. It heavily, heavily skews it. Yeah. And it doesn't quite do the same thing when the hunters have it, because, unless all 4 hunters pick it up, and then essentially, damage doesn't help a medic at all. You know what I mean? So there's not a lot they can do in order to counter it. Do we have any TA on the game just yet, or are they still waiting for that rule clarification?
They are still waiting for a rule clarification on dome dodging, it seems. Let's double check. You do have the feed right now also, right? That didn't cut out?
I have the feed. I can see them, but I can't hear any of what they're saying.
Yeah, I do have them muted. I have not heard a response back on Steam yet, so it looks like they are still looking for that clarification. Probably just want to make sure going into this game whether or not dome dodging is going to be allowed. Let me just message them real quick and see what they say. And we'll jump over to the brackets right now as well, just so we have those up on screen so people can see who are actually in the semifinals. Right now, we are looking to cast Hard On You versus Epex Black. That is going to be Epex's Hunters versus Hard On You's Monster, Insane 521. Let me message them right now.
Everybody else, we're going to be setting up a stream poll. We'd really like to know who you guys think is going to, or who you guys think are going to take it out of the 4 semifinalists that you see there. I think we're going to be putting up a stream poll. Actually, I should probably just do it.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that right now. I am confirming with Insane right now on exactly what is going on. We're just waiting for the teams to finish working out, I guess, the rules issue, the rules clarification, and then they will go right into the picking and banning, and then we will start the first round.
All right, beautiful.
Okay, so it looks like dome dodging is allowed for right now. It looks like HOI has chosen to ban Distillery and Fusion Plant. Orbital Drill and Refueling Tower have been banned by Epex.
Oh, wow.
We're getting the results in live right now as they're happening. So we have Distillery and Fusion out, Orbital Drill and Refueling Tower out. They're currently working out who gets the tiebreaker round and whatnot, as well as, I think, the picks. I don't have any results on the picks just yet.
All right, everybody, I've gone ahead and posted that straw poll down in chat. Head there. Let us know who you think is going to win the Go4Evolve Sunday Cup. Let us know who you're cheering for, guys.
All right, and I just reposted it right now. If you're using Better Twitch TV, it should show up as a poll right in the top of your chat, integrated right into it. A cool little new feature that Better Twitch TV added. Also, if you do use Better Twitch TV, we do have emotes local to the channel. You can type Aegis Shield or Aegis Heart to show your love. And you can do them just like this. Let's see if I can type them out right here, right now. I know my keyboard is probably obnoxiously loud. Just like that. We do have room for 3 more emotes. If you have any ideas for other emotes, please let us know. I'd be happy to get them created and throw them in there if they're good ideas. And let's see if we can actually get this stream poll up right now. Let's see. I can't vote because I am casting. All right, so it looks like we have 6 votes for Hard On You, 3 for Epex Black, 3 for Eyes On You, and 2 for Wolves. Let's see some more votes coming in, folks. Let's get as many people voting as possible. That link is right in chat. Oh, look at those Aegis Hearts. I love that. Thank you, guys. Showing your love for the channel, showing your love for all the teams competing today, and, of course, your love for Evolve.
Yeah, it looks like HOI are, as far as the 12 people that have been polled so far, HOI is the clear favorite right now.
Yeah, it looks like Insane 521 voted for himself. Also, he has given me the final picks. Let's see, it looks like Weather Control, the Dam, and MedLab will be the picks. Map 1, Weather Control, Map 2, the Dam, and if there is a tiebreaker round, it will go into an epic fight on MedLab. One of my favorite maps overall. I absolutely love that map. The Stage 3 fight is great. Overall, the terrain feels really good. Maybe not so much when you're going uphill, but when you're going downhill, it feels good.
I was just going to say, it's funny you would say that, because were I playing today, MedLab would probably be my first choice for a ban as a Hunter team.
I don't know if I would ban it.
First choice for a ban.
I think, no, you got to ban Armory or Barracks first, I think. Well,
That's
those aren't
true.
even allowed, actually, so never mind.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but MedLab feels like the monster has so many places to run, and it's just so easy for a sneaky monster to be able to separate himself. So it feels like if you're gonna like on MedLab, either I'd like to ban it out, or I'd make my trapper go Maggie essentially, just because there's so many places for him to go. The middle of the map has what 3 different levels that he can run one way or the other on through. It's nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very, very nasty. They are going through their pick phases now. The way that works, if you're just tuning in, if you're new to this, the hunter players choose their assault and their trapper first. The monster follows up with a counter pick, declares what monster he is choosing, and then the support and the medic get a chance to counterpick, to counter whatever monster they're going to be playing against. This system has been in place for the past few weeks now, and it seemed to work very, very well. The players, I think, overall have been happy about it. I've heard some players talk about having the trapper after the monster. The issue then is that you get to pick the most powerful hunter versus a monster as the perfect counter to the monster.
It's true.
If you know which trapper, if you know what monster you're going to be facing, you can always pick the right trapper for that monster, and it makes getting those domes off a whole lot easier. So I can see why that hasn't been tried yet.
No, it's absolutely true. I don't know. It almost feels like maybe a blind pick system might be what's coming next. But
no, they've done
it'll be
blind picks
interesting to
before. Blind picks have been tested. That definitely doesn't work. I think you definitely need some sort of a pick process, just like they do in League of Legends, just like they do in Dota. I never played Han, actually, but I'm pretty sure they do it the same way there as well.
I think maybe another interesting mechanic to try would be essentially the team who won the previous match declares what their team is, and then the other person gets to counterpick, but they have to say what they counterpicked before the match starts, so that it happens on a match-by-match basis like that.
The problem there is still picking an entire hunter team versus the monsters. What we saw, this was actually initially tried before the official Go4Evolve Cup started. ESL ran one test cup, and what we saw was there was very, very little variety in the hunter picks. Not knowing what monster they were up against, they were always forced to pick the safest option.
The same god comp every time. Yeah.
Every single time. Yeah. Yeah. Now that we've added this pick and ban phase into the game, and now that some of the hunters have been a little bit more appropriately balanced, we've seen a whole bunch more variety in the matchups. Some teams still favor something close to the god comp, but I remember last weekend we saw a whole lot of variety in the picks, and I think we're going to see the same thing going forward. Yeah, we've already seen 2 Abes. Yeah, we've already seen Abes. We saw Abe last week, and we saw Abe again today, and that right there, that alone is great to see.
I absolutely agree. There were a lot of people who were speculating that Abe was just not unless you knew for sure what your monster was going, the Abe's not a viable choice because Abe is so much weaker against Goliath. He's unable to stop the attacks like Griffin is. But then again, I'm surprised we have not seen any Goliaths for this week at all. Strictly Kraken play, and I think part of that has to do with the fact that Kraken is so strong in the meta right now. It's funny that they indirectly buffed Kraken so much.
Yeah, that nerf to Cabot was definitely a buff to Kraken. But like you said, indirectly. Before Cabot was used for that mitigation. It looks like they are jumping into the match now. All right, let's hop right in and see what they pick. Whoops, black screen there. There we go. All right, got that little technical issue sorted out. Let's jump right into the game. We are on the loading screen. Keep in mind, they have already chosen their picks. Once again, everyone, thank you all for tuning in. If you like what you see, if you enjoy watching, if you haven't already followed the channel, if you want to help support us, please go ahead and hit that follow button down below. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. You just click that button. You will get a notification when we go live, and it does help build and grow the channel as well. It's a great way to support us, all for free. You don't have to do anything other than click a button. You can also follow us on Twitter or on the YouTube down below. Also on the YouTube, the VODs from past week's tournaments have now finally been uploaded. We had all the issues sorted out there, so as much as I was able to get up has been uploaded to the YouTube. Wow, an insane 5-2-1 coming out with that amazing new skin. I love that right there. Look at
What
that
is-
magma skin.
What's it? It's the magma skin, right? Okay. It looks really, really good on Kraken there.
Yeah, with those red eyes. Oh man, he just looks like a badass.
Yep, some kind of Lovecraftian horror.
And indeed
All right,
he
it
is.
It looks like we're going to have a good Hank Maggie comp. I really like this against Kraken. I do. I mean, I'm not so sure about the Maggie on MedLab, but maybe that's just because they know that Insane is an incredibly slippery monster and hard to keep a hold of, and so they want to make sure they have Daisy to kind of sink her teeth in and make sure that they're directly on her backside.
Yep. And here we go, jumping into the game right now. Insane 5-2-1, taking off, looking for some early food. Let's jump in
Moving
and cover
through
the
the water
players
there.
right now. First of all, we have Drone playing for Epex Black on the Assault. We have Adrenocide playing the Medic Kyra. We have Nightmare playing Hank, the support. And we have War Doom playing Maggie, the Trapper.
All right, very interesting. He chose to move through the water there in the beginning. That does do a little bit to confuse Daisy, but I'm wondering, there's a lot of sneaking going on here. He's getting smashed by by that crowbill there, and they've got Daisy, which means that, the sneaking is good as long as they decide not to pay attention to the dog.
Yeah.
Yep, he hasn't got very far. They're about 100 meters out from him, it looks like.
Yep, they have a good idea of where he is. They know his general area. Look at that. Look at how far ahead Nightmare is right now. Sneaking up on that monster.
Oh, and the Tempest skin on Hank there. I have to admit, I just bought that myself. Or sorry,
Yeah.
Leviathan.
That is a
what it
nice
was.
looking skin. Wow, and he gets pounced right there. That will do a good bit of damage to him. Those Blitz Leopards can be deadly.
I hate it when you get two or three of them stacked at a time because they can kill a hunter if you run into the middle of their pack.
Yeah, I have been one-shot by 3 of them in a row before. It does happen. You need to be careful.
And, Insane doing a fantastic job of staying behind the building there. They still don't have an exact idea where he's at. He is only 120 yards away, but he's doing a fantastic job of breaking their line of sight, though it looks like she might have heard something because Maggie makes a direct beeline for Kraken.
Yeah, and look at that. Look at how far ahead the rest of the team is, though. Kyra is not close enough.
It's interesting, though. It doesn't look like anybody's following Daisy at all.
War
Which
Doom.
one would assume, no, Daisy's falling
They are
behind.
ahead. Yeah, you're right. And he gets the dome off. Look at that. Kraken trapped in the dome. Stage 1, full armor, but not enough points to evolve to Stage 2 just yet. And he's going to sit still and stay hidden. He's going to possibly try and trick them into thinking that they didn't get the dome off. Oh, but he pounces on Nightmare.
Fantastic counts.
I don't think Nightmare saw him.
Get half his health down before Medic is able to do anything. A good trap is able to let him peel a little bit, and it looks like he's going to disengage, try and prevent the damage. There's a lot of verticality in this dome for him to go ahead and exploit, and I'm not sure that they're going to be able to put much damage on him here.
And look at that. Getting a final snack finishes off what he needs to get that evolve off. And he's going to go right in on Hank once again. Sneak Pounce and Banshee Mines.
Now, he's already got Hank down to half as he pops his cloak there, and I don't think this is going to be enough. Now, the cloak is going to prevent the Banshee Mines, the main source of damage, from coming
War
down.
Doom on the lightning gun, putting some hurt on him right there, and he backs off once again.
Down to half armor. Yep, and it does look like the dome falls. He's going to go ahead and finish off those poison hounds that he killed for himself up there and then just kind of pop out the top. He's ready to evolve, and he knows that the dome is down.
Yeah, very, very well played on Insane's part. And that is why he shines as one of the best monsters in the scene right now. His decision-making and his prowess inside of a dome are second to none.
I agree with you, Aegis. I think if you want to watch somebody with a cool head and how they play, you need to watch Insane, because there's never a moment where he feels off balance.
Yeah, and look at that, efficiently pulling off that Stage 2. He knows exactly how much distance he needs to get. That dome is still on cooldown. They do have the pings on him, though.
He goes ahead and finishes off Banshee Mine and Vortex, which means he's going to have a decent bit of burst. But remember, like, the guy that he's trying to focus right now is Hank, because without Hank being down, the rest of the team's just not going to go down.
I think his pick was a very interesting pick. He didn't take any points in Lightning Strike yet, which means that he's going to be looking for a Banshee Mine Pounce in order to deal damage. That is the only way that he will efficiently take a hunter out.
That's right, and as I was just saying, if support is able to do a good job with his cloaks, those Banshee Mines aren't going to be able to do hardly any damage because they cannot focus a Hunter unless the Hunter is revealed.
Yeah, and look at that. Going on Drone PA and War Doom right there, kind of splitting the damage up a little bit.
I didn't see him get full armor, but he is already at full armor here and probably looking to take the engage over the top of this pit where he can kind of exploit how easily he's able to make it fall. Putting in the long-range damage on War Doom, and he's able
Excellent
to dodge.
dome dodge! Wow.
Wow.
Great play right there. I think he saw that coming. Either that or he was just in the right place at the right time.
I think he may have been sitting there and baiting. I think that's what he was doing, is he was standing over the top of that large vertical lip there where the Hunters had to take time to get up and down the cliff face. Oh, it's just... This is going to be a hard match for Apex to be able to come back on. They've done a great job mitigating damage so far. He turns around and engages War Doom, but the Hank shield comes out just in time, which reveals Hank. Hank down to half health before this fight even starts. Hank, taking a bunch of auto attacks, decides to go ahead and pop that cloak and jump down into the pit. Gets off the orbital, but not taking any damage. The Kraken is able to scoot away. That orbital is going to break up the rest of the team and prevent them from being able to follow him very well.
You know, that was a decent defensive orbital, though. He was getting a little bit low, so he negated himself right there, I think. It forced the Kraken to disengage. But at what cost, though? Because you're right, it did keep the rest of the team from chasing. He is now going to have a good bit of distance on them. They're about 60 meters out, we can see. Looks like War Doom is the closest on the Trapper. At 60 meters, everyone else lagging behind.
War Doom's been doing a great job of not only staying on the monster, but Insane's been doing a lot of harass, turning around and just trying to throw as many shots off as he can. And War Doom's been doing an excellent job of keeping himself up even when he's down to just a quarter health. But I'm not sure. I think Dome is finally back up. Oh, and he does get it down.
Yeah, the Dome does come down. He is trapped inside once again. Stage 2, 2/3 of the way to Evolve. Goes right on War Doom, takes him out. Vortex pounces, and I think he's going to finish him. Yeah, he finishes him with a strike right there. A single melee strike.
Takes the strike, and it's interesting that he's going to decide to run here because he is at almost entirely full armor.
Yeah, he wants to stay in, get some more strikes if he can. He sees the breakup in the team play right there. He sees an opportunity to do some real damage. Look at that. Hank coming in with the shields, trying to save War Doom from dying permanently, but Insane doesn't care. He's going to power through it. Lightning gun and laser cutter, and he's just taking it all, soaking it up with all of that armor that he has.
And he finally is about to lose his armor, so I think it's finally time to disengage and run away, but he knows that he's entirely safe to go take stage 3. They have nothing that can hold him in place.
Yeah, great play right there. Just absolutely phenomenal. The way he stayed in just long enough to keep his armor up, and as soon as it got a little bit too low to be safe anymore, he backed away. Yeah, I love the way he's playing right now. He's looking very, very strong against them.
Oh, and it looks like the Apex team is still hot on his trail, but how closely do they really want to follow him right here? He's a fully armored, ready to evolve to stage 3. I mean, essentially, their best hope is to be on him when he decides to make his evolve and to try and score some free damage.
Yep.
But with 1:20 before their trapper's able to actually hold the monster in place, it's a really risky proposition to be chasing. Yep, that's why it looks like they're just going to set up and fortify.
Yeah, they're playing very, very defensive right now. They're just going to wait that dropship out. They know that they can't do much damage. I wonder if they should still be chasing him, though. When he hits stage 3, that's an opportunity for them to get some damage in.
You know, maybe so, but they are kind of set up for a stage 3 fight. Their composition is set up with a Hank to feel more comfortable when you get to a stage 3 and to try and be able to negate some of Kraken's unbelievable burst there at the end. They might be able to pull this off with a Hank Kyra combo as long as they're able to get some really excellent positioning and take the fight to an area where they want to fight.
And look at that. Now they go out. I'm not sure what I think of that play. I think they should have been chasing from the beginning, or they should have just stayed back like they were going to do. Yeah, he's already finished his evolve. There's no chance of catching him at all, getting in some early punish. And he's just going to drop out a casual lightning strike and then back off and now armor up.
You know, their indecision is what's going to end up killing them here because now they're in it. They were in an area where it would have been great for them to fight. They had a lot of opportunities to break line of sight, and now they're going to allow Insane to go run over to that side of the map where he wants to fight. Over the top of this disc is the perfect dome for the monster because he can exploit the up and down, and I believe that Kraken's lightning attacks either still do or used to pierce the top layer there and actually hit on the bottom as well. All right, he turns around and is laying into them. Now the Trapper has dropped back down. It looks like a good orbital here by Hank, and he's able to keep up the medic, but it just doesn't look
and the
like
dome comes out and separates half the team.
Oh my goodness, a phenomenally clutch play there by Trapper, but Trapper goes down and dome is over with. Trapper now with 2 strikes. They're trying to get in there and see if they can burst up the Trapper with Medic's heal burst as well as a full clip of grenades, but it's not enough.
Lightning strike going to chase Hank off. Nightmare Hank almost down, and he's going to be able to go right back on War Doom if he wants to.
The medic is still focusing the down Trapper. Does not. Oh my goodness, Hank goes down. That was another mistake there by medic, not making the choice to keep up the effective teammates and laying her heal down onto the incapacity.
Look at that, takes Hank out of the game, goes on Adrenocide. The medic right now down to half health, laying into her hard. Vortex into Lightning Strike. Will he catch this? He does. Absolutely. It downs her right there, and I think he is going to stay in at this point. He has no armor left, but he has over 2/3 of his health. They need to split right now, or they are going to lose.
Daisy able to get her back up, but she's going to go down almost instantly. Wow. And Assault tanks that Lightning Strike. I think it's over here. But though I have to say, I didn't think Daisy was going to be able to res the medic.
Yep, and look at that. Goes right in on Drone PA. Drone PA, the Assault, pops his Assault shield. Everyone else down. Daisy down. About to get the sneak pounce on the Assault. Let's see what happens. And he wins 11 minutes, 20 seconds into the game. Well played from Insane 5-2-1 right there. Very, very well played.
Able to really punish those hunters for their mistakes. That was a very interesting match. You watched Insane just kind of sitting back far enough that he was able to smell and then waiting for them to make a mistake and absolutely capitalizing and punishing on every single one of them.
Now let's take a look at these stats for a minute. Look at this monster. Damage done. Almost 50,000 damage done. That is an amazing amount of damage. That means that Hank was on point with the shields, and he still simply did enough damage to power through it. That's the only way you can do that much damage and not demolish a team in a matter of a couple minutes.
I agree, especially with 30,000 healing being done as well. That Hank was really on point with those shields. And I want to mention that the fact that we didn't notice Hank shielding all that much means that he was able to get those shields out just as the attack animation was actually distributing the damage and not wasting any extra time. That I believe that their Hank did a pretty decent job there. If anything, I would say that like their medic was a little bit lackluster on who she was deciding to heal in the middle of the fight.
Yeah. You need to stay focused on one target, but Insane did a great job spreading that damage all around, creating confusion for that medic, and making it difficult to decide who to keep up. And that's one of the tricks about playing against a Kraken. And it especially becomes noticeable if any two members of the team group up against a Lightning Strike. If you group up against one Lightning Strike even, you're forcing Kyra to decide who to keep up.
Yep, and by the way, I think that was the Savage skin that we saw there, now that I'm looking at it a little closer. On the Kraken. I believe that was the Savage, the Savage Kraken.
Yes, I said Magma, didn't I? I meant Savage. Magma was the pre-order skin. Savage is the new skin. Yeah, the Savage skin, by the way, comes along with the Hunting Season Pass, which gives you all 4 Tier 4 hunters. So if you bought that Tier 4 Hunter Pass right there, you will get the Savage skin for your monsters as well.
Yep, and a GG there to Insane for that win. That was a great one.
Very, very well played. I'm not sure if we have a result from the other round. Let me ask Insane right now. Let's see how his Hunter team did.
Yeah, we are going to be rolling onto the dam for this next match. You know, one of the problems that I felt like they may have had there is that Maggie was unable to do any kind of CC apart from the dome. The Kraken was in the air the entire time. They didn't really have anything that could pull the Kraken to the ground to allow Markov to be able to do any damage with his mines, or to allow Markov to do, it's really hard for Markov to hit a flying Kraken with a lightning gun unless he's jetpack boosting into the area.
Yeah, and you know that's the disadvantage of taking Maggie against a Kraken. Those traps are only useful if you dome in an area with extremely high points of elevation, where you can put those traps up on top of a very high cliff ledge that's essentially parallel to the Kraken's height in flight.
Yeah, and Kraken doing an excellent job of only allowing itself to get domed in areas where it could really exploit the verticality and how hard it is for hunters to be able to climb up and down a surface, whereas he can just basically vault up to the next ledge in a single bound.
Yeah, that map is great for the Kraken. The entire area outside of the caves is wide open, gives him plenty of height advantage, and with that nerf to Cabot's railgun, it's very, very difficult to punish a Kraken out in the open and up very, very high now.
Now, interestingly, in pub matches recently, I've been seeing a lot of Krakens using Aftershock, which is something we haven't seen. I have not seen a single Kraken go Aftershock in ESL since week 2. But because of a current bug, I believe Kraken's able to move at full speed in Aftershock for the entire duration of Aftershock, and I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen more people trying to take advantage of that, at least for the week that it's active.
Yeah, I'm sure that will be micro-patched out very, very soon. We've seen a little bit of Aftershock play in the past. I think most Kraken players still feel that it's a very, very risky move in top-level play. I have seen some good Kraken players. I've seen Legendary, actually, from Wolves Esports. I was in some teams playing some scrims against him the other day, I think it was. You know, maybe it wasn't Legendary. I'm sorry. It was maybe Cyril.
Hey,
they switched it up.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Aegis, but real quick shout out. Hey, DB, thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah, DB in chat. Great to see you here. Looks like his side of the brackets has finished up. Looks like Wolves Esports has actually beaten Eyes on You. So Wolves Esports will advance to the finals once again. That's 2 weeks in a row in the finals. Wolves Esports, formerly known as Stop Right There Monster, one of the phenomenally consistent teams in this Go4Evolve series so far.
You know what? I'm happy to see them go into the finals. I really am, because I feel like they've fought hard and have just not got... They haven't got quite where they've wanted to the entire time, which is why you see them started. I think that they were the 5th seed this morning, or 4th seed? 4th seed this morning. But it's really great to see them finally advance into the finals, and maybe, maybe after having a hard time winning every other week, maybe this will finally be the week that they take it, eh?
Yeah, we will have to wait and see. We still have a few rounds left to go. I don't have a result from the other side of Hard On You versus Epex Black's rounds. That would be Epex's Monster versus Hard On You's Hunters. It looks like Insane is not sure either, which means that they are still playing. They may have already gone into the second game. They may still be trying to finish up that first game. I mean, Insane did finish his game in just over 10 minutes. It was, what would we say, 11 minutes and 20 seconds, I think. So it is very well possible that HOY's Hunters are still playing their first game. Yep, and Insane is confirming that in chat right now. Well, that's no matter. Let's see how much longer we have to jump into his game 2.
And I'd like to see what they're on as far as... Oh, and it looks like the other side of the... Yeah, I think you may have already mentioned this, but the other side of the bracket finished up.
Yep, that was Wolves Esports advancing to the finals. So it looks like they took a definitive win over Eyes on You.
That's... I kind of expected that to at least be a... at least go to a little lengthier for. Jeez.
Yeah, that was a very, very short series. Once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you like the channel, if you like watching some great Evolve play, if you like what you see and you want to help support the channel, you can do so just by hitting that follow button down below. It's completely free, it doesn't cost you anything. You will get notified when we go live, whether it's during a Shoutcast like today or tomorrow, or any other time during the week. You can also follow us on Twitter as well. That link is down below, as well as YouTube, where we are finally starting to upload VODs from previous tournaments. Alright, looks like we are waiting to get into the next round still. So it looks like HOY, their Hunters, actually beat Epex Black in 2 games already. So HOY does win 3-0 and will be advancing into the finals. That was another short series as well.
Wow, way to go. I think that's it for us, isn't it, Aegis?
No, I think the ESL is going to cast one side, and we'll take the other side. So whichever ones they choose to cast, we will choose the whatever's left over. We'll take the scraps, so to speak. But we will cut to a short break while those teams get set up. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We have done everything we can to try and help build this community from the ground up, to grow the Evolve scene, to grow the esports scene within the game, and to get people in the community more involved in Evolve, so to speak.
Yeah, to try and help the Evolve community, evolve.
Exactly. And we've done that with the Shoutcast. We took you to stage 2. But now, coming up very, very soon, coming up next week, we are looking to take things to stage 3.
wind and touch the sky. A star's light shines on long after it dies. Oh, in the night, I live every day as if it's your last. Our memories been bright like beacons of the past. Oh, in the night, now we race against the sun. Now we race against the Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Now we race against the sun. Ooh.
This is it. This is it. This is it.
All right, here we go, folks. We are back, and we are ready for the finals right here. Let's cut that music off all the way. We are just about ready to go. It looks like we have received the invite. We are waiting on one more player to join the lobby, and then we will be casting the other side of the finals that the ESL is not casting. It looks like they will be taking Hard On You's Hunters versus Wolves Esports Monster Player Legendary. So we will be taking the other side. We will be covering Insane 521 Once again, Cinder has just joined, so they will be jumping into the game right now. I am not sure what the picks and bans are. Let's see. Map 1 is the dam. Map 2 is weather control. Map 3 is distillery. And the way it works in this best of 7 is if it goes into a 7th and final game, a tiebreaker, then out of the 4 maps left in the pool that were already banned, the team on the right will choose which map that is.
You know, I really hope they do go into a tiebreaker. I love watching these two teams play against each other, and this is going to be an excellent finals. Just a little shout out here.
Yeah.
It looks like Riku has finally joined us. Riku is apparently at another tournament, and apparently they just won. And
at
so
a live LAN event, no less. You know, not just an online tournament, but a live LAN event. He was playing this Evolve tournament on the side in between his matches during the live event. Just kind of a casual, whatever. Let me try and win 2 tournaments at the same time. The matches were held up because he had to go on stage.
Filthy casual.
Yeah, what a boss. I have to say, you know, I've competed in live tournaments before. I would never consider playing another tournament on the side. That just blows my mind. All the credit, all the respect to Riku right there. Let's get some love for him in chat right now. If you guys are fans of Riku, if you guys are just fans of anyone who's willing to play 2 competitive games basically at the same time or, you know, in between each other, then let's get some love for him right now. That is phenomenal. You know, we are not sure what kind of game it was. I think maybe CSGO, and I'm only saying that because I know that Wolves Esports does have a CSGO team, so that's just my guess, but I am not 100% sure what game. Yeah, maybe someone else from his team could confirm. I know we had one of them in chat before. I think, well, you know, I do have Legendary. I could ask Legendary. Let me ask him right now. I'm going to mute real quick.
I'm also just going to check their page and see if they have anything about any events going on today.
Alright, so there we go. I just sent a message to Legendary the Monster player. He's the only player on that team that I have direct contact with, I think. I don't think I have anyone else on Steam. But hopefully we will get an answer to that very, very soon.
Maybe it was League. Maybe he was played League. That's what I bet.
It could have been LoL also. Yeah, yeah. Wolves Esports does have a LoL team as well. I'm not sure which roster he's on. I remember looking at their page before, but I didn't see any Evolve players' names on any of the other team rosters, and I was looking for that specifically. So maybe either I glossed over it, or he was just recently added to the team.
I'm looking through the other teams now just to see if I can find it.
Now, once again, the 2 teams that will be matching up against each other today are 2 of the top teams in the scene. Wolves Esports Evolve, formerly known as Stop Right There Monster, consistently taking 2nd and 3rd place finishes in every tournament so far. Hard on You, taking 1st in 3 tournaments and 3rd place in 1 of them. That was most recently last week. So Hard on You looking to start a new winning streak here today. And Wolves Esports looking to take their first place win. They've had a number of 2nd and 3rd places, but no 1st place finish just yet.
And they are fighting hard today, Aegis. These guys have really come out of the gate. They're the only team that's actually taking a Goliath that we've been able to observe, at least. Apparently, they won all 3 of their matches with their Goliath, in fact. Just a phenomenal... weren't you telling me about them picking up a player recently?
I'm sorry, I forgot to mute the chat in-game. Let me mute this real quick. Okay, I missed what you said because I think the players were talking to each other in the lobby.
No, that's fine. I was just going to ask. I was just commenting on the fact that they had a Goliath player that just took both of his games in that last match against I believe it was HOY.
Yeah, Eyes on You.
Eyes on You. Yeah.
Yep.
Just took that last match against Eyes on You. A phenomenal Goliath player. Didn't you tell me they just picked him up as well?
I'm not sure how recently he's been picked up. They've had him for a while. They've been practicing together for a while, but that is Legendary. I guess you could say almost like a prodigy player. As in someone who excels at something exceptionally well. A prodigy picked up from Israel. I was talking to who was it? I think it was Essen, actually. and he was telling me that he randomly bumped into him, and he's just very, very glad that he found him. He's a player from Israel who now plays for their team. So they've really become an international team. I think the rest of their team is from different countries in Europe, and then Legendary being the only player outside of Europe.
Yep, Wolves Esports having an incredibly strong showing. I'm excited to see how they're going to continue to do, because as we mentioned before, they switched as of, I believe, week 3 of the ESL Go4Evolve Sunday Cup. They switched their name and officially became sponsored by Wolves Esports. And since then, I really feel like they've had a much, much stronger showing, and they just keep coming back stronger every week.
Yeah, certainly. And when you have an official registered professional team behind your name, and you have that sponsorship money being offered towards you, possibly the coaching, it really makes you want to play harder now, doesn't it?
It does. It's going to be exciting. Although I really haven't seen very many teams that have been able to give Insane a hard time. So that's going to be interesting as well. With Kraken as strong as he is right now, it's going to be interesting to see if Wolves has found an answer for how to shut down Kraken.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they pull off here. We know that Insane almost definitely will stick with Kraken. We have seen him able to play any other monster at an exceptional level as well. I know right now from talking to a number of monster players, they feel like the nerfs to Wraith were a little bit too strong and make Wraith no longer viable in competitive play, so I doubt we'll see a Wraith. But I think there's a good chance that we'll see some Goliath as well.
Yeah, we didn't see her last week either, which was, I don't know, we talked about it a lot. The fact that the Tumble Wraith build that a lot of people have been going is stronger now. It has only got a boost. So, I mean, it's interesting to now hear people saying that they don't feel like she's quite up to scratch with competitive play just yet, because it almost seems like the only build that we saw in competitive play got a boost, not a nerf.
Well, I think what it is the increase in damage, for example, to Hyde. If the other team picks a Hyde, you can just forget playing Wraith. I think that's part of it.
Very true.
Possibly, I was going to say the extended duration from the Tranks on Val, but it always was that long.
It always was 10 on.
Yeah, it was only
right.
changed on Goliath and Kraken. I'm really not sure exactly what
changed. It's a puzzler to me as well, and
yeah.
I think that probably the biggest thing that's changed is just the traversal distance and the traversal speed, because that was probably debatably Wraith's greatest ability was to be able to use that Warp Blast in order to dodge a dome, and now Warp Blast doesn't get you quite nearly as far. I don't know. It's interesting to see what they're going to have to do in order to make it viable to where you can't dodge the dome all the time, but still make it viable to where Wraith, who is so strong or who is so kind of weak in glass cannony, is still going to have the ability to have movement and be able to get around the hunters.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it may be that traversal that you were talking about, that distance that the Wraith used to gain on Warp Blast, that could be part of the reason why. It's funny, though, because Wraith players, the really, really good Wraith players were saying that it was still a buff to Wraith, and then a week later, or even partway into that first week after the patch, they've kind of changed their mind.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I'd like to sit down with somebody who mains Wraith and just ask them why they think it's over with for now.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because with the number of top tier Wraith players that I talk to regularly, I've just not thought to ask them.
It may just be that Kraken is so strong right now that taking anything but Kraken almost feels like you're doing yourself a disservice. And that's an absolute definite possibility. You see that in a lot of games as the meta evolves. It feels like even though Wraith isn't necessarily worse, so much worse off, because Kraken is so much better off, you feel like you're taking a handicap by selecting a different monster.
Yeah, and that could be exactly what it is. The fact that Kraken feels so powerful right now could essentially be an indirect nerf to Wraith, because it just seems like a no-brainer to pick a monster that's so strong. And that's I think that's exactly what it is. I think that's really the reason why.
Now, I'm also interested that we haven't seen Hyde
Oh, I did get a
only
response
seen
from
Markov.
Legendary. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but I
Oh, go
did
ahead.
get a response from Legendary asking him what Riku was playing. It looks like he responded that he has no idea, but he says it may be Minecraft. Obviously it's not competitive Minecraft. That's just a joke. But
You know what?
he
I've
doesn't
seen
know
it.
either. He did say
I've seen
Minecraft.
competitive
So
Minecraft.
have you
I've
really?
seen competitive-
I've never
well,
seen competitive
here's
Minecraft.
what they did. It was shortly after the Hunger Games movie came out, and they set up a Hunger Games level that was like Minecraft Hunger Games, and so they had a couple of weeks where they were doing like essentially like if you got eliminated, then you were dead. But they had a big pool of like 300 or so tributes.
Oh, okay. Okay, they actually do something similar to that with DayZ on Twitch. It's hosted on Twitch's official channel. I believe it's once a year, maybe it's twice a year, but they call it the Survivor Games, and they take the top streamers on Twitch, a whole bunch of them who are interested in DayZ. They're invited to play together, and they form two-man teams essentially. And they go out, and it's played just like the Hunger Games, with a gas that closes in and shrinks the size of the map as the game goes on. I think they start with 50 or 100 people, and then it continues, much like the H1Z1 Battle Royales. But this is, a once or twice a year special event hosted by Twitch for all like the top streamers out there. The really big names that everybody is probably familiar with.
And I'm wondering when this game is going to get started, because we should be done with picks and bans already.
Well, apparently, so we do have Riku in the lobby here. We can see that, but he is not physically at his computer. He's still on stage winning whatever tournament he's busy winning right now, while also playing Evolve and attempting to win this one as well.
I'm just going to keep making up games that he's playing. I think that's the best course of action here. We all know for sure that he's playing competitive faster than light right now. Yep.
Competitive FTL, yeah, could be competitive FTL.
Yep.
What else? If it's not FTL, maybe Tetris.
You know what? I've heard that a competitive Tetris is no joke.
Yeah, that could be it as well. Well, hopefully we won't have too much more to wait, too much longer to wait, I should say. Let's see what else we have here. What do you think is going to happen on the other side of things? Let's talk about the other side of things, the side that we won't actually get to view right now. So we have Legendary playing the Monster versus HOY's Hunters. Now, we haven't mentioned this before, I don't think, but we mentioned it once at the beginning. That's right. HOY, they're down their support today. They do have Shazberry filling in. We were unsure whether that practice time was going to be enough for them, but apparently it was enough. They've done well enough. Do you think it's good enough to take games off of Legendary?
I don't know. I haven't seen Legendary play, but from what I've heard, he is just an absolutely savage Goliath player.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
I play with a guy who's a lot like him. So it's really easy for people to get kind of sucked into the Kraken as the only thing going right now. But there are a lot of iterations on Goliath builds that I haven't seen anybody try in a competitive scene. And one of those is just the Space Jam build that you get just enormous burst out of at stage 2. And you can essentially dictate the flow of the fight at that point.
Yeah, and Legendary is a phenomenal Goliath player. One of the best Goliath players in the scene right now. I know earlier this week when I was streaming, I was actually playing with, let's see, we had Binges from Eyes on You. I think we had maybe Essen from Wolves. We had, who else do we have? We were trying to get someone from Hard on You, and then we had another player from one of the other top teams. I can't remember who it was just yet. I think it was maybe someone from DTR, but it was all of us versus Legendary. So it was a bunch of different pro players plus myself, all from different teams, all trying to work together. And we did eventually take a game off of him, but man, it took us I don't know, man, 8 games maybe to finally get a win on Legendary.
Yeah, it's not a lot of fun playing against a Goliath who knows what he's doing.
I still had fun.
It's...
I you know what? I love losing to a good Goliath. Because when you lose to a Goliath has been so rigorously tested and is so well balanced that when you lose, you know you lost due to your own mistakes. Every once in a while, though, when you lose to a Wraith or a Kraken, sometimes it makes you a little bit salty. I don't know. When I lose to a Goliath, I don't get salty. I just feel like, man, I just need to play better. That's usually how I feel.
You know, and I feel like chat's saying that we cast Legendary's games last week, but I don't think we did. I think that we ended up casting the other side of it, didn't we?
No, we did get Legendary. That was actually my first time ever seeing him in action, and I contacted him after those games.
Okay. Yeah. I guess it was last week in the finals. For some reason, I thought that we had got the other side of Wolves, and that we were watching Wolves Hunter team.
No, yeah, we did get Legendary last week. Yeah, that was our first time getting to showcase his gameplay.
You know, what I'd really like to wonder is what they're going to try and pick against this Kraken, because they know for sure that Insane is like. Is there any doubt that Insane's going to go Kraken right now? There's no doubt in my mind.
I think you're right. Yeah. There's really no doubt that he's going to go Kraken. All right. So here's the thing about Insane. He has been known to mix things up and throw surprises out here and there anytime he thinks that people might have him figured out. We've already discussed how he is able to play all three monsters at a competitive level right now. So he very well could mix it up. I've seen him do it in tournaments before.
But nobody's figured out his Kraken build, at least not today. I haven't seen anybody be able to even really threaten him. He hasn't dropped past half health in any of the matches we've been able to see today.
That's a good point. That is a good point. I think one team got him down below. Oh no, we only spectated one game from him. So yeah, I'm not really sure how low anyone has ever gotten him in the first series. He did lose one game though, versus I can't think right now, in the quarterfinals versus Team Go4Evolve. He did lose one game, and then HOY went on to win that whole series. Obviously, that's why they're here in the finals today.
Now that's interesting. Go4Evolve, I need to go back and watch their matches again, because another one of my friends is their monster, Bugsy or Bugajoo.
Oh yeah.
I need to watch his Kraken or his Goliath games today. It's been a little while. It's good to finally see him with the team. I know that he was posted up with, I want to say, he was posted up with Epex for a few weeks and never ended up getting to play. And so I think that he ended up transferring out to Sith just to try and get some games in.
Yeah, and it looks like it's starting to work out well for them. I'm curious as to some of their lineup changes. I know One Trick Pony was playing medic for them. I'm not sure why she wasn't playing for them today as medic, but I had expected to see her on healer during.
Who was there?
I'm sorry. Now we're talking about Epex. I'm getting everything mixed up. that's
right,
on Epex.
Right. But for Epex, I don't remember who their healer was, because that might have been, if you remember,
that was Adrenocide.
So I think Adrenocide was Epex Green's medic. Yes.
A few weeks ago, possibly. Possibly. These teams change up so often that it's so hard to keep track of who is on what team, and then you have the team name changing as well.
In the middle of tournaments, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes even in the middle of a tournament. Right, exactly. It definitely makes it confusing.
Yeah, so it looked like Adrenocide was. It looked like Pony. Oh, it looks like we got it backwards. So Riku's back, but it looked like One Trick Pony was Epex Green's medic.
Oh, really? She is listed on the team page still for Epex Black.
I know,
didn't realize that she was transferred to Green. I did check that very recently, too. All right, so it looks like Riku is back, and Legendary actually lost his first game. It looks like we will be jumping into this game right here very soon, though, now that Riku is back.
Now remember, folks, this is going to go into a best of 7. These finals are a best of 7. Plenty of opportunity for a comeback, as Aegis well knows.
Yeah. All right, and they should be starting soon. Yeah, which finals are you talking about? Because I think every single finals that I've competed in has gone into a final tiebreaker game. Every single one of them.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, it always makes for the most exciting finish, right?
Yeah, I think last week's was the only one that didn't go to a 7th game. Heck, I mean, even the Chappie
Yep.
Challenge went to a Game 7. Shoot.
Yeah, last week did end early. No, we've had a few other weeks that didn't go all the way either. Actually, recently, I don't think we've had any best of sevens in the past couple weeks. Hopefully we'll get that here today. I would love to see an exciting best of 7 tournament here today. We will have to wait and see. Looks like they are getting started, though. Riku is finally back, so they should be starting in just a minute. Let me just confirm with the players in the lobby right now. Alright, just send them a quick message.
All right, remember, everybody, to please join us again tomorrow for the beginning of the next Go4Evolve ESL Sunday Cup. Week 1 kicks off tomorrow. What is it, 11 a.m. Eastern, Aegis?
10 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. That's GMT -4. So, you can do the math on your own from there, depending on where in the world you live. That will be the next series of cups. That will be 4 Sunday Cups, culminating in a final monthly championship as well, once again with a €350 grand prize. And if that's not enough Evolve for you, IG, we do have other news for everyone watching. We will be casting the Evolve Hype League as well. We will be casting at least 1 series of games per week. As well as, of course, the final tournament that the whole season culminates in as well. Looks like we're going into game right now. And then, of course, we'll also have news about Stage 3 coming up a little bit later.
And that Evolve Hype tournament has got a really interesting format I'd like to talk about maybe after the program.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll, of course, also have a lot more time tomorrow to talk about it as well. I'm sure that tomorrow's tournament will have even more teams, which will allow us to spectate even more great games of Evolve. This tournament being the monthly championship, being an invitational for only the top 8 teams, whereas the Sunday Cups are open to any team that wants to register, whether you've never played Evolve competitively before with your friends, or whether you have been competing regularly. Even if you didn't do so well, there's always a chance to come back in the next series, accumulate more points, and get into that monthly cup invitational. The Sunday Cups also have a €100 prize pool every single week. And then once again, the championship having a €350.
So if there's any teams out there that are currently sitting in the viewer box that think that they actually want to be competing, get on it. Go to the ESL page. Let me link it here in a second, but go to the ESL page, get your team registered. We'd love to cast for you in your next match.
Yeah, let's get that in chat right now. Okay, looks like we have some picks. All right, just got the picks from Insane. So we have Griffin and Markov, followed by Kraken, and then Hank and Kyra. That's not surprising, really. It seems like that is the best team comp to deal with a Kraken right now. And I think we all expected the Kraken pick to come out of Insane. Yeah, that's not very surprising. Once again, so they did try and start the game. They backed out. I'm not sure what the issue was. I haven't heard anything from either side. Okay. Yeah, so I guess the entire delay on both sides was because Riku, as the team captain, actually had to pick the bans. So everything was being held up.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, we will have to see. Yeah, and they will be allowing Tier 4 2 weeks after release. But like IG said in chat, it may be delayed even longer if the players in the ESL agree that it's not balanced yet, which may be possible. We'll have to wait and see.
Now, remember, guys, if you're watching this, the ESL does provide a rule set specifically for if there are any additional rules that you'd like to apply, the 2 teams can kind of have a gentleman's agreement, and that will be counted as an official rule for their match. So it's very likely that if they're feeling really unbalanced, that all the teams together will just kind of have a little gentleman's agreement and say, hey, we need to hold off on the Tier 4 for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, they could even make a gentleman's agreement negating dome dodging if they wanted to. Teams could agree on that before a match.
Absolutely. And that I expect the dome dodge thing to be fixed fairly quickly. Just like I don't want to put words in MacMan's mouth, but the way that he made it sound on the forum sounded like it was a fix that was already in progress. Not just that they were aware of it, but that they were already working on it.
Yeah, exactly. Something coming out very soon. We do have the match starting now, too. Counting down, 0-1, and here we go. Just about to start hitting the loading screen in just a moment, and we will be getting into game number 1 of the monthly championship finals. This is Hard On You's Monster, Insane 521, versus Wolves Esports Hunters. And this is going to be the very first game on their side in this best of 7. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, you can hit that follow button if you like the channel, you want to support the channel. It is completely free to click that button. You will get notified when we go live, and it does help to grow the channel as well. You can also follow on Twitter and on YouTube to catch VODs of all the past tournaments that we've cast so far.
And to see other events that we're going to be casting at besides ESL Go4Evolve.
Absolutely. We have a lot of big things planned in the future coming up. A lot more great Evolve content for you.
And the absolute best way to get on the train and figure out what's happening is to go follow Black Ages over on Twitter.
Yeah, I tweet all the time, usually at least once or twice a day, depending on what is going on, and there's always a tweet sent out anytime I go live throughout the week as well.
I like this. I like this Griffin pick. I really, really like this Griffin pick. If they pull out a Hank, then I feel that they are doing an absolute hard counter to Insane's Kraken play.
They did
if you
pick
notice,
a Hank. Yeah, they did already
did they?
pick a Hank. Yep.
Okay, I don't have it on my screen for some reason. It just says support. Okay, there it is.
No, it was mentioned to me in text. They,
okay.
I had the listing of all the picks already.
Yeah, this is a great comp here. This is the hard counter to everything he's been doing. Griffin is going to be able to pull him directly out of the air and down onto those Markov mines and into Markov's lightning gun. Hank is going to be able to shield and keep the team up during that almost inevitable stage 3 fight, because there's just no... Insane knows what he's doing too well to be able to let them trap him and prevent him from getting stage 3. They're not able to put enough damage in. Nobody has been so far. I really think this is a very smart team comp out of Wolves.
Yeah, this is a great pick on their part. They will have to play that Griffin exceptionally well, though, to make use of him.
Agreed.
I'm surprised, though, with so many Kraken picks that we haven't seen more Abes, though. I kind of think that Abe might be the trapper that this team needs.
Maybe, but I like Griffin's ability to be able to pull and help keep separation when Hunters really need it, especially with Insane's, how do I put this, his tendency to like to do the Banshee Sneak Pounce combo. A good Harpoon can let the Hunter get away before he Sneak Pounced.
All right, and here we go into game number 1 right now of the ESL Go4Evolve Monthly Championship Finals. Let's go over the players. We have Insane 521 for Hard On You playing the Kraken, the giant monster. We have Cinder playing Markov on Assault for Wolves Esports. We have Riku playing Medic as Kyra. We have Mr. Biddle playing Hank, the support. And we have Rudy playing Griffin, the trapper. And back to Insane 521 here. Looks like he's just finishing off this Dune Beetle. Wow. Gonna get almost all the way to a stage 2 Evolve right here off of that. And it looks like the Hunters are trying to close in on him, but look at how far away from him they are.
He needs 2 more little meat snacks, and, I mean, yes, Medic and Assault are up there, but Trapper and Support are sitting back by the river trying to watch River so that they can tell which way he's going to go, and they're way too far back to make an effective pincer move here. Yeah, much too far back. Look at that. They are trying to close in on him on the mini-map. We can kind of see their locations a little bit better. Look at them up above right there. You can see them outlined, and he's just sniffing and dodging them. But I think Riku's going to spot him right here. He's going to go right on Riku, drop the Vortex into Banshee Mine Pounce. Not enough damage, though. Markov with the lightning gun. Yep, Assault was there. That could have turned really nasty, but Assault was close enough to be able to prevent the sneak pounce happening. And it looks like...
Insane wisely backs away, seeing Mr. Biddle and Rudy closing in from the side, trying to cut him off. But, you know, they ran into the caves rather than heading directly upriver like they should have.
They did, and he is going to be able to snatch and evolve off of this pretty easily. He's created more than enough space. He might actually hang around to try and bait the dome.
I think he's going to duck back the other way. I don't know. This is interesting.
It looks to me like he's waiting to bait the dome so that he knows that it's been used up and done before he goes to try and get the evolve off.
I gotta say, though, they were smart. They knew not to throw that dome. They knew he was waiting for it. They knew he was trying to bait it out. And look at that. As he flies away, we get a nice view of that amazing Savage skin, which you can get included for free in the Hunter Tier 4 pass.
All right, and it looks like they're right on top of him. Griffin throws out the harpoon to prevent Kraken from being able to escape. The dome goes down, and this is a pretty interesting position here. There's not a whole lot of places for him to hide except for to try and play Ring Around the Rosie around that center pillar. And that's not a very tenable position for a monster. If a Hunter team gets good splits, they're going to be able to continually put damage on him. Oh, but he gets an excellent sneak pounce in onto Rudy here.
Sneak pounce on Rudy. Markov comes in with a lightning gun. They are laying into him, but just not quite enough. I mean, he's not even down to half armor just yet. He is only stage 1, though, and this is one of the best spots on this map to fight a stage 1 Kraken. He backs off once again. He's just going to keep on playing Ring Around the Rosies, juking in and out from all these small little rocky outfaces right here, just breaking line of sight.
Yep, and he's going to try and do what Insane does best, which is just wait for the Hunters to make their own mistakes and then capitalize and punish them for it.
Yeah, and we see a lot of monsters trying to play like that right now. Vortex almost on the entire team, kind of breaks them up a little bit. They do have landmines all over the ground here. He's going to effectively fly over them and right out of the dome and across the river. He drops a Vortex on the way out, knocks 3 of them back. Cinder, the only one uncaught by that Vortex, the assault right there. He will cross the river and continue the chase on Insane as the Kraken. Looks like Insane is actually going to head out into the caves and evolve right in that corner where so many monsters like to evolve. Oh, he sets off the birds, though.
Doesn't care. I don't think he cares. At this point, they basically know exactly where he's going to be at because there's only a few places that he's going to be safe from that Hank orbital as he evolves. And Insane knows that the dome is down, and so there's not a whole lot he really has to worry about. He's going to take a little bit of damage here when the assault catches up to him, but that'll be it. Then he rocks right back out.
Yep, and look at that. Finishing off Banshee Mines and Vortex once again. No points in Lightning Strike, so he will be looking at getting a Banshee Mine Sneak Pounce combo in to deal any significant damage on the Hunters. Vortex, and it looks like he's about to cross the river right here.
Phenomenal Hank Shield coming out, preventing almost all of that damage early. And I really like to see those early Hank Shields, because fantastic dome comes down.
Wow, that's an excellent dome right there. There are a few places where he can line of sight them, but it looks like they will get some decent damage in on him through this dome.
Absolutely, and there's no verticality for him to be able to exploit here. Everything is basically on a level playing field, as long as they spread themselves out so that he's not able to get any of those massive grouped attacks on. Oh, but support is falling low, and support goes down. Mr. Biddle goes down without any kind of fuss. Looks like Medic was too busy trying to reposition.
Yeah.
And he does get that free strike off, goes replenish his armor before re-engaging.
Yeah, that's great. So no permanent damage done to him just yet, and 1 strike on Mr. Biddle, the support. That's a worthwhile trade at this point in time. But remember, the dome is still up. They can still get some real damage in on him here. Cinder pops the shield.
I feel like support is the one that you very least want to get a strike on right now. That was just a misplay by them, I think.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Drops the orbital. Kind of wasted it right there. I don't agree with that. And it looks like he is going to escape. Looks like he lost about a bar of health. Keep in mind, in observer mode now, it doesn't show how many bars the monster actually has. It splits it up differently than what we're used to, so it's sometimes tough to judge exactly how much damage a monster took.
Now the monster splits off into the cave and is able to pick up some of this free food that he left behind earlier. Goodness. I don't know what to say here. They did a decent job with that engagement, but there were just a few misclicks and just a few just out of position that ended up costing them a strike from nothing, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Apart from the couple mistakes that allowed Mr. Biddle to go down, they also weren't aggressive enough there. They needed to stay on him harder right there. They had a perfect opportunity. He had barely any armor. In only stage 2, they could have done some significant damage, especially with the way that Insane plays. He doesn't use a Lightning Strike, so they actually don't have a ton of damage to worry about. They just have to look out for a Banshee Mine Sneak Pounce and then get some real damage in on him. They just punish him real hard. And especially with Hank, that makes it a very realistic possibility, but they're not exploiting that fact. All right, and it looks like they close in here. We're looking at the mini-map right now. They're all kind of split off, chasing him through the caves right now. We've got, it looks like 3 of them together, I think. Oh, no. Okay, so we have the medic finally regrouping with Assault, and they do see him out in the distance. Those pings going out all over the place. You know what else I want to point out? Look at how great their sensor coverage is on the map right there. It's very, very hard for him to do anything in the middle or the north side right now. Yeah, great play on their part right there. All right, and back in, a dome does come down. Look at that. Takes out Mr. Biddle. Once again, goes right on him. Cinder right up next to him with that lightning gun, trying to punish him, doing what he can, but look at his armor. His armor is just not going down, and he is going to stay in and finish off Mr. Biddle right here. Riku lobbing those healing grenades from afar, trying to keep him alive, but it is just not enough. Mr. Biddle does go down, and he now changes his aggression onto Rudy, the Trapper. Now he's going to go for the Trapper right here. Rudy down to a quarter health, pounces, and it looks like he will finish him. No, he does stay alive for maybe just a minute more. Markov with the lightning gun still on him right here. He takes out Rudy, and the dome comes down. Will he stay in, or will he run?
I think it's time to run here, Aegis, but I don't know if that's the decision that's going to be made.
Yeah, it looks like he is staying in. He's going to take Rudy out. He is down to permanent health damage right now. He's lost about 25% of his life. He does take Rudy out, though. Look at that right there. Advancing on Cinder right now.
Sitting incredibly comfortable right now.
Yep, Cinder with that lightning gun, but he does not have his shield, and he does fall as well. Riku already taking off as fast as a Kyra can, but at 20 meters away, there's looking like very little that Riku can do. Insane gets the sneak pounce, and that is it right there. He finishes game number 1 handily. Well played on his part, taking out that Hunter team of Wolves Esports. And look at that right there. We have 32k damage done by Kraken.
Good game.
1-1.
Yeah, 20,000 healing, but look at that. Only 4,000 damage done. That was their issue that game. They had so little damage actually dealt out. Yeah, making things very, very difficult. So we should be advancing into a game number 2 in just a minute here. I am not sure. Let's see. We have Wolves. Let's see. So we have.
Looks like it's
2-1.
Wolves.
2-1 is the score right now. Wolves Esports up 2-1.
Yeah, it looks like Legendary came back and won a second match, from what I'm hearing.
I don't know how the 2-1 on the other side. If that would mean that they then finished all their games. Insane just won here, so there's no way it could be 2-1 in favor of Wolves. It would have to be Yeah, it would have to be 2-1 in favor of HOY right now.
Yeah, it's 2-1 HOY.
And you should have the video feed again. I think you cut off
Yep,
before.
it's coming up now.
Okay, good.
Thanks,
Excellent.
Comcast.
Yeah, we dropped you in the middle of the cast there, didn't we?
Yeah. We all know who to blame. Blame the ISP.
Oh, of course. It always works to blame the ISP, right?
That's correct.
All right, so let's see if we can get any official confirmation on the score. Yes, okay, so indeed it is 2-1 in favor of HOY. So right now, Legendary lost 1 game, had an amazing second game, took a win off of HOY, making his series 1-1. He's looking to finish up his 3rd round right now, and we are looking to go into round number 2 on the other side of this tournament right now.
Great. It looks like they're trying to make up for lost time now, as they're
Yep.
launching directly into the next one.
Yeah, that's great to see. We like to just get into each game one after the other to keep the action going, to keep the excitement up, to keep the hype up. And, let's get a poll from chat. Let's see how much hype we have from each of the different teams here. If you want to see HOY win today, let's get some PogChamps in chat right now. And if you want to see Wolves Esports Evolve win today, led by Riku, the boss playing 2 different tournaments at the same time, let's get some Craigasms.
I expect to see some Craigasms in there. At least a few. I mean, that's pretty darn impressive. Though, if our poll any earlier was any kind of indication, I think that HOY is definitely the favorite.
Yeah, I think HOY is definitely the favorite right now. But you never know. Things could change. Let's see some of those faces in chat. All right, we got some PogChamps. That is PogChamps for HOY. Do we have any Craigasms for Wolves Esports? Let's see some Craigasms in chat right now if you want Wolves to win.
And it looks to me like they're going to be taking the exact same comp in again, which is good because I'd like to see this Hunter team refocus and maybe take the fight to Kraken a little bit better than they did this time, because Kraken was never in any kind of danger the entire match. At least it didn't feel like it in any significant way. He had complete control.
Yeah, he did. He did. And it seems like some people in chat are correcting me. That's right. I've heard some people say Craigasm. I'm not sure why I said it that way, since I usually say it the proper way, which is Kriegasm. It is the emote of the streamer Krieg. So if you want to see Wolves Esports win today, let's see some Kriegasms in chat right now. Let's get some of those faces in there. And if you want to see HOY win, then let's see some more PogChamps. Let's see some hype for Insane 521 and the rest of HOY. Rosum and Banai. And this loading screen, it looks like someone is taking a while to lock in. Maybe they're discussing perk picks,
I think, you know what, and this is kind of you and I both play support, and I think we both main Hank, and I think we both can appreciate the battle that's happening right now with Mr. Biddle trying to decide whether he wants to go either recharge, jetpack recharge, or capacity. Essentially, I think that those are the three that are probably most useful on Hank. Recharge being, I get the shield back up faster after the lightning strike. It's almost at full by the time its next lightning strike is ready. Jetpack being, hey, I need to be in position to hit every single shield. And then obviously capacity is just able to tank unbelievable amounts of damage.
Yeah, exactly. Me personally, I prefer capacity, although I definitely think there's some merit to jetpack recharge as well, especially against Krakens trying to dodge that lightning strike.
I'm not afraid to admit that I've been trying to improve my my gameplay by watching a little bit of Woot Style, who I believe is one of the better Hanks in the world, and that's one of the things I learned off him is just that if you have jetpack, you're always going to be in position for the shield, always. And if they decide to focus you, then it's double good. All right, it does look like Insane is going to be going for that less sneaky, more direct route again, as he is breaking trees and just kind of pillaging everything in sight.
Absolutely. Once again, let's cover the players. We have Insane 521 playing the Monster for Team HOY. We have Cinder, the Assault, playing Markov for Team Wolves Esports. Also on Wolves, we have Riku playing the Medic Kyra. We have Mr. Biddle playing Hank, the support. And we have Rudy playing Griffin, the Trapper.
With a name like Rudy, I can't help but just want to cheer for him.
Why is that?
Like Rudy is the name of an underdog to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the old football movie, right? The college football movie.
That's right. Just can't help but cheer for Rudy.
Which somehow I never saw growing up as a kid. But it looks like that doesn't matter. They have pings right on him. They know he's right below them, and they know he's trying to sneak by.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that he knows that they saw him either, because they're playing it pretty cool at the moment, and he is just trying to take up residence in that bush down there.
Well, judging by how they're all waiting around, I'm sure he knows. They do throw down the dome. It looks like they did catch him in the dome, right at the edge, right there. He is trapped in the bottom right now. Wow, what a great spot for a dome at stage 1. They have the potential to do a lot of damage here.
That is true, but I've also seen Krakens have an amazing potential to be able to negate all damage just by exploiting the fact that it takes the Hunter so long to be able to get up and down those two sides.
And that's exactly what he's doing right now. He splits away from the assault, goes on Mr. Biddle and Rudy. Almost going to take Mr. Biddle down stage 1 with Banshee Mines into a pounce, and he does finish him off with a melee strike.
That is the second time he's been able to take Mr. Biddle down and get a strike on their support in the early game. If you look, the odds of the Hunter have gone severely down. If Insane wanted to, he may be able to press the fight right here and win, but I think that he's going to be a little bit more smart about it and decides to do that as a bonus prize.
Yeah, he'll take what he can get right there. That is a great position for him to be in. He has taken no damage, is almost back up to full armor. And you know, that panic orbital right there, that is something that every Hank has to learn not to do. I've had to learn that lesson myself, and so many times playing Hank, I'm still tempted to throw out that panic orbital. You waste time doing it. It actually slows down your positioning, and slows down your ability to get away from the monster. It is one of the worst things you can possibly do, and we saw it cost Mr. Biddle dearly there.
I agree, and I think we can confirm that he definitely didn't go damage reduction or jetpack there. I think that he's probably on capacity right now.
Yeah, and you know what? Damage reduction would have been a very, very good choice here, too, in order to negate that additional lightning strike damage from the Kraken. He is going to hit stage 2. They will try and close in on him. They are far out, though. Look at how far away they are.
And they're not going to have a dome for another 30 seconds. He's in a really comfortable position here.
Yeah, it looks like Rudy, the Trapper, is on top of him, but he will get away. Unfortunately, we cannot switch the camera angle until that Evolve finishes. All right, and the dome does come down. Wow, he is only at about half armor here, but he is going to go hard on them.
The puns are coming hard today. All right, it looks like he is going to be able to... You know what? He's going to be able to finish armoring up inside that dome, even though 3 of the hunters were already there. That's kind of a mistake on their part. They should have been able to prevent that feeding. And he is able to get that early attack off on Mr. Biddle. Mr. Biddle's going to take all 3 of those Banshee Masks to face and go down to half health.
Yep, Markov comes in with a lightning gun. Not enough damage, though. And he is still staying strong, just firing from a distance, dropping those Banshee Mines. Splits Mr. Biddle off once again. Healing Burst does keep him up while Markov comes in with the lightning gun.
I was just going to say, their medic is in such a better position this round. It's kind of ridiculous. They're doing an excellent job of being able to take it to him on this team fight. And this is a good place for them to dome because he doesn't really have a whole lot he could do except for to jump back and forth between that large center object in the middle of the break line of sight. Now, he does take Assault down far enough that he needs to pop his shield, but medic is right there in place to get him back on. And the panic orbital, once again, just another wasted orbital.
Yeah, that did very, very little. There was no need to orbital there to chase Insane off. He was already going to be chased off. In fact, had they not dropped that orbital, he may have overcommitted and allowed them to get some permanent health damage on him.
And all it did instead was just cause their assault to continue to tumble. Ugh. You know, and it's really hard as a Hank to be able to judge when the perfect time for an orbital is, but it just really stinks when you land them wrong. It's either the savior of your team or wow, man, I think that orbital may have just lost us the game, you know?
Yeah, or it just ruins your whole team. You know, I absolutely see that as a Hank player myself. And I have to say, playing against a Kraken is one of the most frustrating things as a Hank, because you want to get that clutch orbital. You want to just put on that awesome show for anyone watching, for the rest of your team. You just want that epic damage. But
Absolutely.
Against a Kraken, it is so hard to do.
And to strip all the Kraken's armor off means that the fight immediately changes. Like, that's the beautiful thing about Hank, is that he's able to turn a bad fight into a good fight in just a few seconds. And it does look like they're finally able to catch up to him here, but they are trapped inside of that little area, and they're not going to be able to push through there because he's going to vortex anybody who attempts to. So as they take their time to get around the far end, he's going to go ahead and squirt out of the cave system. Oh, and they domed! The dome goes down, and he is miles away.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can call that a dome dodge. That was just a misplaced dome. They either pressed the button by accident, or they misjudged where he was, and they thought that he was close. But they are going to be out of a dome now for the foreseeable future, and Insane 521 did see that. He's going to pop that stage 3, but he cancels it, realizing that they are still too close. He's going to have to back off more. No, you know what? Yeah. He is looking for a fight now. He wants to take it to them. He knows that they are at a disadvantage. He can see his chance to take Mr. Biddle down again.
Comes in hot and heavy on Mr. Biddle. But medic is able to burst him back up. Jeez, you know, I have to hand it to Riku. Riku's been really on point this match.
Yeah, Riku really has. Very, very well played on their medic's part, keeping everyone on the team alive except for that one mistake in the beginning, and that was more mispositioning on the other hunters' parts.
Absolutely agreed. You know, he needs to hurry because the dome is probably at about half charge now. And he stopped to try and engage and then didn't get anything out of it. It was unproductive. And now he's essentially eating into his evolve time.
Yep. Here he goes, right here, popping that stage 3 evolve. The hunter's trying to close in. Are they going to chase into the caves, though? Yeah, it looks like they are all going into the caves. I think this is going to be a little bit too late, though. I think they should have been a little bit closer to begin with. They're going to be doming him in potentially a very dangerous spot to fight a Stage 3 Kraken. Let's see what happens here.
He does take that Stage 3 lightning strike now. Which
Rudy closes in. They do have those pings, and the dome does come down, doming the Kraken. Stage 3 in the
And a
caves.
phenomenal lightning strike dodge by Rudy, followed closely by a vortex that they're both able to get out of the way of. This is a really, really excellent position to engage Kraken in. Honestly, if they're able to get a good team engage here, this could possibly turn the game around for them a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what they see over here. They're just waiting. They don't want to chase all the way in. Cinder taking the lead right here. He's going to go in as Assault, try and dish out what damage he can. No, he's just laying mines. He's going to try and bait that Kraken out. But Insane knows that he can just hide. They really can't fight him inside here. There's too little mobility to dodge a lightning strike.
You know, and they're probably only got about 15 seconds left on Dome now. They haven't got any damage in since the first little attack.
Push him out around the other side. He goes on Rudy now, split off from the rest of the team. Dodges the lightning strike, though. Wow, that was really, really well played. It almost looked like he was actually hit by that. You know,
yeah, I didn't see any damage come out of it, though.
It looks like both teams are playing it safe right now. The dome does come down, and Insane 521 will escape pretty much scot-free there. It looks like he lost a sliver of health, but barely anything at all.
Maybe a couple of assault rifle. Yeah, maybe a couple of assault rifle rounds is all. They just...
Yeah, so I would call that an even split for both sides right there. Neither side really taking an advantage, but neither side losing much in the process.
You know, I don't know if I'd say that, though, because Insane did get to take the Evolve for free there. That's essentially what that was, is he got the Evolve, and they just weren't in a position to get there fast enough to punish him for it. So he was able to get some armor on and be able to engage them and keep them from doing the damage that they needed to do there.
Yeah, that is a very, very good point. You're right. Now, we'll have to see what they're going to do in a Stage 3 fight. Are they setting up at the relay? They're not even fully at the relay yet. I'm very curious to see where they're going to defend. Okay, here they are. Most of the team is here now. Will they set up on the low ground and actually kite him through these small openings around the larger building? Or will they set up higher and fight him out in the open? In my experience, kiting through these little towers that Riku is next to right now seems to be one of the best ways to fight a Kraken, but I don't think they're going to do it.
I was just going to say that because there's so many line of sight breaks, Aegis, that it's almost ideal for fighting a Kraken. If you have to, find as many line of sight breaks as possible to try and get those abilities to burst before they hit you. But I don't know, I agree with you there. It looks like they're trying to get him on the low ground, or at least bait him to the low ground.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to turn out for them. Well, they are staying low right now. They do have the mines all placed low, so it means they are going to be focused on the low ground. Kraken does come in. He switches up to the top of the building to go on Rudy. No, Rudy gets shielded. Vortex in the air with the lightning strike coming down.
Vortex with the lightning strike, but Hank is directly there. But Hank now almost completely down. Heal Burst only brings him up to about a quarter. He gets hit by the other Vortex, which carries him out a little bit further.
And the Panic Orbital again. We're going to chase him off, but in the same direction that Mr. Biddle already is. Mr. Biddle going to take